Welcome back for another episode of Way Seekers TV, and all the seekers that's gathering around for this episode. I'm talking about something that's very important and something that's very interesting, and something that I've dealt with, and I know all of you are dealing with. And anybody who's watching this has dealt with or still is dealing with this in this moment, and that's trauma patterns. I mean, we are all going through things that's connected to our trauma patterns. We're making decisions, and we're, making choices depending on our trauma patterns instead of who we are. And it's been complicating our lives, and it's been affecting our lives greatly, and we are not aware of this. And I'm sure we none of us know, because it's just how we were raised. It's just who we are in a moment. If you haven't found yourself, if you haven't remembered who you are, if you are not awakened, then you're making all your choices through your trauma pattern. And it's been affecting you. It's been affecting you in a major way. And if you feel like you've been going through your life struggling, or you've been going through your life seeing more obstacles than you've been seeing opportunities, it's because of that very reason. Your trauma patterns have been making most of your decisions based off survival. Your trauma patterns have been having you go through your life deciding off of protection and not personality. Trauma teaches you reaction and not responding. Your trauma pattern has been taking the space away that you need to make a clear and concise decision. Just for example, you're driving down the street, it doesn't even matter, you're going to work, and somebody cuts you off, or they get over in your lane without hitting a blinker. Your trauma pattern is going to respond, or is going to react, and it's going to react fast, and it's going to react on the energy that you feel in the moment, not even what you really feel. It's going to make you react in a fearful way, like you could have died. And you're going to react in that way, when if you were reacting outside of your trauma pattern, you'll be able to have some space to have it happen to you, take a breath, and understand, like, woo, I'm still here. And to keep going on with your day. Keep your energy within inside of yourself, to keep all of your momentum that you might have been carrying at the time within inside of yourself, instead of releasing it or leaking it unknowingly, because the trauma pattern calls for it. When you make choices to your trauma pattern and your trauma programming, you are severely limited in the outcomes of your decisions, because you're either stuck, you're either fighting, or you're either flighting. And that severely shortens the opportunities that you have to have different responses, to have different outcomes. When you make your outcomes, or when you make your decisions from that, and from those patterns and from that program, you just pick from the same pot every time, the same few choices. And I know you're tired of it. I know it's wearing on you. I know you feel like you're missing out on something. That's because you are. You have no space. You have no space. Your life is seemingly becoming more robotic. It's seemingly becoming more pre-written ahead of you. Like, why do I keep finding these same people? Why do I keep having the same outcome? Why do these things keep happening to me? And that's because the way the law of attraction works, it'll find you. Your trauma pattern keeps attracting the same thing. I know your trauma pattern seems to be automatic, and that's true. It is. It's set up ahead of you. It's set up for you, and it's not even in a way that seems like it's blindsiding you. It's the comfortability that lulls you to sleep. It's the familiarity that makes it seem okay. It's something that is happening on a regular and in a consistent basis. But it's not permanent. It's something that you can fix. Now, in any pattern, there's a moment of choice. And in that moment of choice is where, in the pattern, you see this fork in the road where you can make a different decision. But the key is you have to be aware. Choice happens in the gap. And that's where I said, if you don't have any space, you need to create yourself some space. And how you do that is when the event happens to where you need to have a little space, or when the event happens where the trauma pattern picks up right away, just give yourself 1 second before you react. And when you do that, you're not reacting. Once you give yourself a second before you react and you get a hold of yourself, you begin to respond in that moment. Take a breath, take a second, because you need it. Because reaction will bring upon the same decisions, the same things that you've been doing. You need a second of space. And in that space, in that gap, that's where you are. That's where the different decision is. That's where the different outcome is. But you need to give yourself some space. You need a second to breathe. You need a second to give that trauma pattern a moment not to happen. Because in that second is where you are. In that silence, in that quiet, in that moment between reaction, response, that's where you are. That's where the different outcome is. And that's the trauma pattern's worst enemy. Awareness is definitely the upgrade. Awareness is the thing that saves you. Awareness is the thing that gives you space. Awareness is you. Awareness is your consciousness. Awareness is a break in the system. Awareness is a crack in a trauma pattern. Give yourself a second. Breathe your way through. It only takes a second. If you if you're driving and somebody cuts in your lane without hitting their blinker and letting you know ahead of time, in that split second when you want to be like, mother, just breathe. Collect yourself. Collect yourself. Give yourself a moment. Because in that moment, that's where the trauma pattern kicks in. It's an automatic response. And it hasn't been helping you. It's been holding you back. It's been keeping you locked up. It's been keeping you bunched in and suffocating. Let's be real. If you can't be yourself, you are hurting on the inside. And your trauma pattern feeds off of hurt, pain, fear, survival, neglect. And it reacts the same way. Because the body doesn't like it, the brain doesn't like it, but the brain is trying to protect you by doing that. By having you set up automatically to protect yourself, by leaking all of your consciousness. Your trauma pattern decisions are made through the pain, are made through that fear, and made through that survival. Look at your life. Let's look at the job that you have. Is it the job that you really wanted? Is it the job that you saw yourself growing up and doing? Is the place that you work and collect a check, was it picked from a trauma pattern because you just seen it and said, oh, it's something I could do. It's something I feel like I can do. And you picked it because it was easy and you can do it and collect a check, but it's not fulfilling and it's not upgrading your life. It's not something that you can be proud of. So in turn, is making you feel unappreciated and is making you look at life from lack because you're not feeling deserving. You're not having the life that you thought you would have because you picked your job just because it seemed like something you can do, but it's not really what you want to do. Did your trauma pattern make you decide on something that you didn't want because it felt like it was something that you could do easily? We all been there. What about the person that you with, the people that you have chosen, the friends, the company you keep? Think about that. Most of us we are with trauma pattern buddies. We picked them from survival. We picked them from fear. We picked them because we feel lonely. And they attracted us because they show the same pattern. Is that what we're attracted to? Because we can see the same hurt in them that we have. We can see that they didn't have a father. They grew up without a father. I'm like, oh, I can feel for them because I grew up without a father. I think I love that person. Let's get married. Let's live a unfulfilling life together and end up divorcing in the next couple of years because we chose each other off our trauma patterns. Does that sound like the thing that you really want to do? Does that sound like the fulfilling thing that you was brought here to fulfill within your own journey? No, but we do this on a regular. We find ourselves picking partners through our trauma patterns, through the trauma program. And it doesn't work. It makes us feel empty. It makes our partners feel empty. It makes us blame. It makes you drive down the street one day in the middle of your life and scream and cry uncontrollably. You want to know why? Because I have done that. I've done that. I've been hurt. And the thing that I really had to come to understand was that I've been hurt by me. All the decisions that I made in my life, all the choices that I made in my life have brought me full circle to the moment to where I can see it was always me. It was only me. And that's a beautiful thing because I really needed that. And you really do need that too. The trauma pattern is only there to point you back to you because you are the answer. No one's going to save you. No one's going to help you. You are the only person that knows what you're going through fully and totally. And you're the only person that can save you. You're going to be the savior. You're going to be the Prince Charming in your own journey. It's only you. And when you realize that for yourself, you'll notice that the trauma pattern is not such a bad thing at all. It's just a thing to help you remember who the fuck you are. You are. I am. You are the one. In the Bible, it says it'll be the meekest among you. And if you feel like you've been meek in your life, forgive yourself for having to go through the things that you had to go through, but understand that they were meant to help you remember who the fuck you are. Every little thing that went on in your life, every little decision that you had to make, every event that seemed like a failure has never failed you. It's only to point you back to you because you are I am. You are greatness. You are beauty. No one is above you. You are everything that you thought you was. And I know you don't feel like it because the trauma pattern keeps you in a loop of feeling like you need help, feeling like there's something missing. And it is. It's just your awareness. But understand, without a doubt, that you are more than capable of being the I am in your life, of understanding who the hell you are, because there's nothing above you. There's no one better to save you than you. But understand, you're going to have to understand. You're going to have to understand this yourself. You're going to have to know this yourself. You're going to have to come to grips with understanding that it was you the whole time, just trying to wake you up, just trying to help you remember. Because again, that's part of the contract. When we come here, we sign the contract in the earth school to forget that we are I am, that there's nothing above us, that we are creators. We forget that. And then the trauma patterns, the things that we went through when we were little, they stay attached to us because they are aids in the helping us remember who the hell we are. And until you get to that point of remembering who the hell you are affected by it greatly. Now remember, until you remember who the hell you are, the trauma patterns will keep repeating. And the reason why is the nervous system repeats what feels familiar. I know it's stupid. I know. But the nervous system repeats what feels familiar. And a loop will keep you in those patterns of familiarity. Old pain becomes a default setting. Let me repeat that. Old pain becomes the default setting. You have to get to a point to where you address it. You can't let that old pain linger because it will become your default setting. It will become your go-to setting. And it will become your go-to feeling. And it'll create something in you that counteracts it. If you have pain there, then it'll make you mean, like, oh, okay, all right, I ain't gonna let nobody see this pain. Or it'll make you blame, like, oh, you did this to me. Either way, it leaves you in a setting of lack. It'll leave you in an event of not having, of missing. Now, trauma patterns are somewhat tricky. They're very tricky, matter of fact, because you don't notice them. You feel like it's you. You feel like you've built this thing up within you and it protects you and it's who you are. And you know what I'm saying? Nobody can tell you nothing different, but it's not you. It's just a pain setting. It's a survival setting in you. It's a hurt setting in you. And it protects you by lashing out, by reacting instead of responding. But I'm going to give you some tips on how to break that cycle, how to get outside of the loop, how to understand who you are and remember who you are. When you find yourself in the pattern or in the event of the pattern about to express itself in your journey, you have to slow the reaction. You must slow yourself because in these events, everything is fast. And you can't let this happen fast. You can't react anymore. You must give yourself a second. Breathe your way through. When something outside of you happens, something outside of your control happens, the only thing that you can control is you. So in these moments, give yourself a moment to breathe. That breaks the pattern. You don't want to react. You always want to be able to respond. And you cannot respond without giving yourself a moment first. So always, in the event of your loop happening again, your trauma pattern happening again, the trauma program, give yourself a second because you never have. And that's the only place you'll find yourself. That's where your awareness is. In that moment where you can, then you can think. You gave yourself a chance to find yourself, to be you, for your personality to come out and not that trauma pattern. So you're on the right road when you do that. You're on the right road when you do that? That sound right? Right road. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, when you give yourself that moment, when you respond instead of react, you allow yourself to have new choices. And those new choices create new neural wiring within you. You didn't know that could happen, did you? new neural wiring happening when you give yourself those new choices. You begin to open up pathways. You begin to balance the chemistry going on within your body, the chemical balance. You begin to chemically balance yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, when you begin to break those patterns, what healing really looks like, it's not going to be a perfect thing. It's not going to be something that where you just like, oh my God, I am. Like you are. But it's going to look like you coming through. Your personality, the person that you came here to be, will be revealing itself through your choices. You'll find yourself having different opportunities. You'll be seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. And through that contrast, you'll be able to find yourself clearly through that. It's not going to be perfect, but it will be you. And that's what this whole thing is about. Pointing you back to you. You will have more answers being answered by you. Your higher self will appear. All of those little tiny transformations will contribute to the total upgrade. And an upgraded you is what you need. You've been trauma pattern person this whole time. Yeah, you are due for an upgrade. You're due for an upgrade. And making every tiny decision, every tiny choice will make and contribute to your total transformation. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. But it'll be so healing and so beautiful. So overall, just wonderful for your journey. Give yourself some grace. Now in closing, your trauma pattern doesn't define you. Your choices do. Every moment that you choose differently, you rewrite your whole story. Now, if you find anything in this video that helped you today, if you still here, if you follow me through this entire video, don't forget to like and subscribe because your higher self would. Until next time, take care of yourself. Seekers, keep seeking with me. Thank you. Goodbye.